I cleared the CA foundation. While studying for the CA intermediate, I have realized that my interest basically more inclined towards knowing the business holistically and not just in the accounting way only.
Pleasure to welcome you to the podcast with students with the name Student Voice Matters. As a program chair, I often interact with students, so lots of curiosity like, will I fit into this environment? What kind of opportunities will I actually get? And most importantly, will this experience truly shape my career? We have with us a wonderful panel representing diverse journeys from the field of marketing, finance, leadership experiences, industry exposure, and whatnot. I'm the moderator of the session, right? And at FIIB, I'm taking care of program chair as an academics and professor of finance and accounts. Yash is the president of the student council at FIIB from the current batch of 25-27. He has a specialization in the marketing and has extensively worked with under the different industry exposure opportunities, whether it's an idea, and currently is also working with the Collegify under his summer internship. Harshita is also the president. We have two presidents at FIIB, president of student council from the batch 25-27 at FIIB, and very dynamic personality with an extensive ability to take care everybody while doing these things and has experience in managing so much of events. Harshita Tripathi. Harshita carries her experiences from chartered accountancy to the BCom and now at FIIB, she is currently specializing in the area of finance. Daniel is currently specializing in the area of marketing and operations with a passion of marketing analytics and consumer insights. And for everybody, you can find lots of interesting LinkedIn posts on the account of Daniel and can hear lots of experiences about him.
When I started my PGDM journey here at FIIB, I was honestly just going with the flow, completing assignments and just doing what was expected of me. But the turning point came during the Dubai internship the FIIB gave me, especially through conversations with industry leaders and experts. Experience made me reflect on purpose, what I actually want to do and who do I want to become. The program environment gave me that exposure and space to think. And since then, I've become much more intentional in how I approach opportunities and decisions.
Will you help our audience in understanding the kind of industry exposure that you have been experienced throughout your year one journey?
Throughout my year one journey,
yeah,
the experiences, the exposures that I've been given are through VFTT's View from the Top sessions, which the institution organizes, as well as the Dubai immersion programs. And apart from this, there are corporate mentorship programs as well. And all these has helped me a lot to grow as a person as well.
You are representing the student council as a president. It requires a lot of confidence, conviction, I'm sure. So what early experiences in the program helped you build that readiness?
Ma'am, what I personally think that leadership for me was never about having authority. It was more about being someone people could rely on. Even before FIIB, I was always involved in situations where I had to coordinate with people, solve problems and take initiatives. But FIIB gave me a much larger platform to actually test those abilities in real time. What really built my confidence was working with diverse teams, managing responsibilities alongside my academics, and constantly interacting with students, faculties, and the stakeholders, the external stakeholders. Over the time, I realized that leadership is less about controlling people and more about understanding those people. As a student council president, I have learned how to handle pressure, make decisions under uncertainty, and represent students' concern while balancing institutional expectations. Those experiences shaped my confidence more than any classroom lesson could ever. And I believe that this is an entire experiential learning for me.
I also want to understand, Harshita, that during this last 1 year journey, what are some exclusive points that you want to share with us that has actually made up you a person that you are today?
What built me as this person is the experiences that I have earned, the platforms that I got, and the way I have represented myself as an individual. It has built that confidence in me. It has built me as an individual and in my overall holistic approach and growth. It has built a mindset that how, rather than reacting first, you need to learn the beauty of responding, that how people must be thinking, what is going in their mind. And I believe that my participation in different areas, in different domains, and even being the coordinator of the corporate mentoring program helped me to understand that what the other person sitting in front of me might want from me, and how we can be on the same page to cater each other's needs and responsibilities.
Thank you. And I'll come to you, Yash. Help me in understanding the experience, like whole journey of yours.
To be honest, ma'am, it has been a wonderful journey for me. Starting from day one, with having those orientation days, learning about the college, till winning the first prize in the event that we had for our first year students. It has been an experiential journey. Luckily, we have a faculty which is very helpful. I never felt like that at something like I didn't hesitate to go and knock the doors of the faculties and ask the questions. They have been very helpful. And from the learning part, officially, I would like to say that we have this thing that we are not very theoretical. We believe in practical learning. We actually use our brain. We learn a lot of things during the class. And obviously, as Harshita said, there is a lot of opportunities. I, being a part of CMP, I have learned so much through the mentors. There is a lot of potential. You can meet people from outside. You can learn from them. And in this past 1 year, including the council, it has been a wonderful experience for me.
I have basically started my journey with CA. So CA structure is very packed and very systematic. I cleared the CA foundation. While studying for the CA intermediate, I have realized that my interest basically more inclined towards knowing the business holistically and not just in the accounting way only. Then I reflected, I sat with my parents, I sat with my friends, talked to them and explained them. I have written a post on LinkedIn as well that it just turned out to be like I am just working on my numbers. Okay, I am just supposed to cover for 40 marks and then for aggregate 200 marks. It just turned out that I am focusing more on numbers and not on learning. So then I reflected back, I introspected and realized that I do better. I want to do PGDM. Now the challenges came that which college. So then I did a research and FIIB stood out for me because of the alumni network, the faculties, and many other standout programs like CMP, FIIB Preneur, and many more. And best part, ROI. We all think about the ROI, return on investment. So yeah, that's it. That's about my journey.
To be honest, these experiences didn't completely change my understanding of the two markets, but instead they helped me notice something which is more important to me, I believe. Dubai exposed me to a more global, fast-paced environment, while my research internship right now in quantum consumer research showed me how deeply local culture influences decisions. In terms of accessibility, opportunities like these are actually very accessible, especially here at FIIB, if you are willing to take that step forward and really engage. And I think that wraps up my answer.
You've also talked about your research into quantum consumer research. What it is, help us in understanding and how it is shaping up.
Right now, I'm doing a project which is about qualitative research about Surf Excel, really understanding the consumers and taking interviews and reading through transcripts. Understanding them, the consumers, is really important right now. And I think that is what matters. Again, understanding them deeply. Yeah.
Coming to you, Harshita, our president, classroom experience. I really want to understand from you.
One thing I genuinely appreciate is that FIIB focuses on creating interaction-driven exposure instead of limiting industry engagement to formal lectures. Like through mentoring programs, corporate interactions, live projects, the guest speaker that we used to have in our certain terms. Like I believe that in all our term, whether term 1, term 2, or term 3, we always had a guest lecture exposure. So the leadership activities and the external collaboration, we students get opportunities to directly engage with professionals and understand the industry expectations beyond textbooks. The institution also encourages students to take ownership of these opportunities, which makes the learning much more experiential for us. So personally, while coordinating with these external faculties and the mentoring initiatives and external engagement, I have personally seen that how these interactions have helped students gain the clarity and confidence and the practical insights.
Can you help me in understanding some of the projects that you did and you gained certain aspects that you were not earlier aware of?
The most beautiful project that I worked upon, and it was equally challenging, was my SIP project. We were supposed to go on a 15 days of SIP interaction, and I was working with NAS Foundation in a group of 4, in a team of 4, and we ended up winning the SIP Mela poster competition. And the exposure that I got over there and the way I understood the hardships of the community, the LGBT community faces on a regular basis. I believe that what I learned and experienced over there was very different than what I regularly read in the newspapers and the textbook. When you formally and informally meet with those people, when you sit with those people, when you interact with them, you understand their psychology, what goes behind, what are the narratives that they are building, and it's simultaneously what are the narratives that they are breaking to maintain their position in the society and to build themselves as an individual rather than just like combining themselves or vacuuming themselves inside a gender narrative. So my SIP experience was the best and I believe the most challenging as well as the most learning experience that I took in the FIIB campus.
Coming to you, Yash, you have led many events, right? So I've asked Harshita about the inside the classroom activities. I'm asking you outside classroom.
When we have this role, it comes with a responsibility, and obviously we knew it while we were signing up for the role. And luckily, we have a very good council. We are very inclined towards working together. We do face some issues. Obviously, for instance, during an event coordination, which was our Samavis, it's a cultural event, when we had some expectations from students and management, and it didn't align at that particular time. So yes, ma'am, obviously it feels challenging from the both sides if we view. But over the period of time, I learned that communication and clarity are the key. And instead of reacting, as Harshita said, instead of reacting, I actually started focusing on understanding the perspective and finding the middle ground. So like both the group, like the faculty and students can like merge and we can do the work together.
Tell me about the certain events that you have did.
So now our first event was actually Sankal. Now Sankal is an event where we students are actually giving mock GDs, mock PIs. We are getting ready for the real world. It is a 2 day program where we actually build our skills. And it was the first time we were actually managing that event. And one thing that I realized that everybody wants to do the work. Everybody is very inclined to do the work. So obviously there was a mutual understanding with the team. And then coming to the Ranbhoomi, obviously it was one of our sports event where we indoor games, outdoor games, where we were actually working on it. We were planning the games, how to schedule it, what are the things that we need to do, what are the things that we need to get before to have a smooth execution. Then coming to the recent HR summit that we have, over 50 HRs were in a single room. We were talking about how AI is helping people and what are the things that a student should know in the upcoming years. Managing all these high level events, it is sometimes obviously feels like it's a pressurizing thing, but at the same time, if you have that confidence in yourself and you have a wonderful team, everything goes very smoothly.
Yash, I just remember, Harshita, you have been get into the two important events. You have faced Global Scaling Challenge. You have been into this HR summit that happens outside Gender Equality Summit. So help us in understanding those outside experiences that you are having with respect to these two events, dear.
Starting with the Global Scaling Challenge, I believe that we were not just participating, we were equally competing with the students from different backgrounds and different colleges. In my understanding, I guess Micah was also present over there. It was a very practical exposure because the people who were judging us, they were like not cutting any specific kind of a slice. They were judging on us on all the biases and on each and everything that we were presenting over there as a team. So we were team leaders and we made sure that this Global Scaling Challenge does not just become a good experience, a good learning experience for us, but we can even keep the name of FIIB at the utmost front representation that yes, we are the students of FIIB and this is what we believe in. And this is how we see that how the AI is going to shape the world in future for us. That basically it was about the MSMEs and the semiconductors and how we can evolve them in comparison to the drone system that is already existing. So it was a very practical learning experience for me alongside competing with the students of different colleges and even representing myself. And then with the Gender Equality Summit, once again, we were at a space where we were welcomed by a huge amount of audiences. And I believe that there were people who were holding very specific and above authority positions in government and various associations and institutions that were present over there. So it was around 5 to 6 hour long event. One of the most beautiful things that I learned from these events are that how to keep yourself charged in each and every situation, how to keep yourself hydrated. You have to take care of your mindset and you have to take care of your professionalism because you are representing yourself as an individual and behind that there is an organization that's standing with you. There is that framework that is guiding you. When it comes to the HR summit, as Yash already mentioned that there were more than 50 HRs that came to our campus. We had only 2 to 3 days in our hand. we built this entire team of 30 to 35 people so that none of the HRs of the different organizations, and irrespective of their industries, that are visiting the FIIB campus, they could have an exclusive event and they could get that on-site experience at how different the students of FIIB are for such a big external event. So these are my learnings that I will carry forward in my life with me, and it will even map with the future that I see for myself.
Audience can see me smiling all along because I'm feeling very proud while interacting with all of you. Anyways, going ahead next with Harshita, you. So help us in understanding that how those learnings in your classrooms, specifically with your finance classes and of course the other classes as well.
You won't believe that I was thinking of taking marketing as my major while joining the CMP, which is Corporate Mentorship Program. I have taken the project for marketing. For the first 2-3 months, I was doing the marketing project. Then, while doing and interacting with the mentor, I realized that there's something that is missing. That was a transformational thought that came into my mind. I was like, sir, this is not clicking. So I was like, just sit. And he mentored me. He sat with me, talked to me, asked me many questions. Then he was like, Harshita, you should give it a try to a finance project. So then I just, because of CMP, I chose finance. Earlier, I was doing marketing only. So yeah, that was a transformational thing that happened.
Okay, and help us in understanding about how your finance expertise are evolving with respect to the classes that you've taken in term 3, term 2, term 1.
I have studied for 2 years about. I already had the hold on accounting. It's just that in CA you get a self doubt when you don't get the marks whatever you study. So I was just battling with that self doubts and everything. But when I came here and I start to answer, I was the one who was take active participation in the classrooms. And I was like, and I've seen that the faculties here are very very encouraging. It's like even if I'm fumbling while speaking or something, they just hear me and try to understand what I'm trying to say. If I talk about finance specifically, many of the teachers, and especially Miss Sudhi ma'am was the one who encouraged me a lot. She used to pick me and say like, Harshita, you should take finance. You are doing very good. You should take. And I was like, ma'am, I'm thinking of taking marketing because I haven't done very well in CA, and I think finance is not my thing. Just because I wasn't happy with my CA journey, then I come to this major, and it has changed my mindset as well.
That comes to my point, and the question is for everyone, who anyone can take it up. Your faculty mentors, as specifically talk about, help you in guiding up in your taking up your specialization.
Ma'am, I would like to go. When it comes to my faculty mentoring, my faculty mentor, while the time we were selecting our majors and minors, were Indrajit sir. So Professor Indrajit helped me a lot when it came to my experience and my learning, that what I should take as my major and what I should select as my minor. He guided me that, Harshita, it is not necessary that if you're taking marketing as your major. I was always finalized in the marketing part because there is a lot of analytics tools, CRM, consumer analytics that I need to learn about to understand the consumer behavior and trends specifically, because I want to build my career in strategy and consulting. So if you're someone who aspires to build a career in strategy and consulting, it is very important to know that how the consumer and the psychology of the market around you behaves. So Professor Indrajit told me that, Harshita, it's not necessary that if you have pinpoint that you want to go for marketing as your major, you need to have a minor.
Anyone would like to go with the upcoming trainings that are going on with respect to the CV building exercises and the LinkedIn learning exercises, LinkedIn presence, making your digital presence, building your portfolio on LinkedIn?
So I'd like to take up this particular thing. Yesterday, I have attended that LinkedIn one. It is actually preparing us for the real interviews, for the final placements, which kind of, if they were not there, we might have lose the thread, we might have lose the focus on what we are actually doing, because somehow I have seen that we have started enjoying the life. Oh, we are going to office, we are getting stipend, and just we are just enjoying it. It's like we got the final placement. It might feel that LinkedIn is just a normal profile. You can just have it, like put a profile in and just talk normally. But yesterday I got to know that it is a holy grail of for the employment. They have a lot of opportunities. Recruiters view your profile, so you can really work on, and it is very hands-on. Yesterday I really loved it.
With this, Daniel, I want to come to you. You are very highly engaged on LinkedIn. I've seen your post. They
Yes.
absolutely make you stuck to reading it from top to bottom. Help in understanding how you're gaining that interactions with that. Yeah.
So LinkedIn has been really, really helpful in my journey. And I want to thank FIIB for this, because it was what got started me using LinkedIn. Now, even LinkedIn, I have been using it more intentionally. Like, for example, sending out an invite to someone. It's not, you don't just send a random invite. An example would be an industry expert that came for digital marketing class. We interacted with him in class, but then that was done. And then I went home, I got to look at his LinkedIn profile, and then I sent an invite with a custom message that was really intriguing. And then he replied, we got to interact furthermore, and he accepted the invite. Again, without FIIB, this would be possible, but I wouldn't have gotten that thing in my brain which tells me to do it. I thank FIIB for this.
You all such a good camaraderie. So Yash, I'm talking about here with respect to the peer network. Everybody, the kind of peer network with your seniors, with your present cohorts, your batchmates. It's a net, and of course the alumni will come on later. But the peer network that you have, the strength that you've observed in the institution, how it has helped you all four of you.
Oh, ma'am. So I'll go for it. Peer network has been one of the most valuable parts of this journey. Like you're surrounded by people from different backgrounds with different strengths and perspectives, and that itself becomes a very big learning experience for you. Whether it was group project discussion or even casual conversation, you're constantly exchanging ideas and learning from each other. Personally, it has helped me in a way that I have improved a lot of things which I felt like was lacking in me, maybe approaching or maybe communicating a particular part. So this is something which I've actually learned from my peers and those alumni. And I feel that this kind of learning through peers is something that you really didn't don't get from a book or something. So, but yeah, it really plays a huge role in your overall growth.
My last question of this segment, then we'll come to the final one. But the last question is with respect to the training opportunities that you all have.
It brings about a very beautiful concept in my mind, which says that one myth that I would like to break is that B school success is only about academics or having exceptional profile from day one. Since I arrived in the FIIB campus from 13th of June 2025, this myth broke down inside of me, and it was more like that in reality, growth here depends a lot on your willingness to participate, network, adapt, and step outside your comfort zone. For me, B school became less about being perfect and more about being open to learning continuously. And through that, every opportunity that I got, whether in form of a flagship program or the HR Summit Conclave or the VFTTs, which are the view from the top, or the corporate masterclass, I make sure that I'm equally participating in them all. Like we have so many cultural activities, cultural fun when it comes to our student life, FIIB student life, that even there I used to equally participate. I believe that I was also the Miss Fresher of my batch. And one of the most beautiful things that I learned from there was that why participation and healthy competition matters. In the Q&A round, I realized that how different it looks that when you are participating, engaging, and giving answers inside the classroom, then facing a crowd, a huge audience of 100 to 200 people and giving your answer over there. So I believe that how opportunities shaped me, whether industry perspective, cultural perspective, or the academic perspectives.
Learn more or earn more?
Learn more.
Learn more.
One mistakes juniors should avoid.
Not stepping out of your comfort zone.
I would say that trying to do everything alone instead of delegating and collaborating early.
Attending more of the batch meetings and all.
One underrated opportunity students ignore.
Always network, guys.
What skill is really important to learn before starting your MBA journey?
I believe smooth communication, because you might have a lot of knowledge, but if you can't present yourself, that's the big issue, I believe.
I
Go
think
ahead.
your ability to learn new things.
Open to all the opportunity that you get in your way. Grab it.
The next question for you is that one best advice that you still use from your mentors.
Ma'am, structure is more important than the content.
Structure is what?
Yeah, structure is important.
Be curious, be willing to
Curious.
grow, and be humble enough to learn.
CGP or projects?
Projects.
Projects, of course.
That's a
Project.
unanimous. One club or committee every fresher or every new student should join.
Brand Rovers.
Finance Club. FSA. Finance Club.
Okay, FSA Club. Question specifically for you, Harshita and Yash. Proudest moment as president that future students should aim for?
For me personally, the proudest moment was the successful conclusion of the Samavesh event, because it is one of the biggest cultural event of FIIB, where we have delegates, like 500 plus delegates from 35 plus colleges from Delhi NCR. I believe that handling them for one particular day, screening them, making sure that they have They are ready, they have registered, and their entire sequencing is ready. The judgment is made without any biasness. Everyone takes something beautiful from that FIIB while we are giving them that experience of Samavesh. I believe that this was the proudest moment for me, the successful run of the Samavesh event.
I still remember there was this team of Nukkad Natak. They came up to us and they were like, "This is one of the best events that we have taken participant of. The execution was so smooth." And at that time, I was like, "Okay, after 2 months of rigorous work, our event is successful." When a team is coming to us and telling that how good it was one of the best things that I felt that day.
One person you would tell every fresher to follow on LinkedIn. Tell to
Purnima
follow
ma'am.
on LinkedIn. Okay. If you could redo one day of our college, what would you do different?
Going first, I would say that I would like to redo nothing. I have totally loved every experience that I have felt and taken in the FIIB campus, and it has shaped me as an individual. So, redo nothing.
Okay. Before versus after, how has your confidence changed?
Coming from the shell of CA, where I usually don't interact with a lot of people, to sitting here, you can see the difference. Like,
Good example. You want to hire or be hired after your completion of your program?
I would say initially be hired.
For the audience, I would like to tell you, with respect to the council, that they have made a very promising legacy. With the earlier council that we are having, they have started the batch meetings very beautifully. And with this council, we are having the gong ceremonies. They have not talked about it, but I'm telling you, they have shaped up the gong ceremonies very beautifully for all the students. Now, what the gong is, before we'll wind up, I would like any one of you to tell us what gong is.
Ma'am, Gong is a space, or Gong is a ceremony where we recognize and appreciate the students for their hard work, for their achievement, and their excellence.
So guys, Gong is a journey of appreciation of each other, learning how others are doing and how I can also do it at some point in time. Gong is also about appreciating the other's effort and lifting you up. So they also share the appreciations for each other, how the other person have lifted up their energy, how supported each other. And also they share their experiences when they have presented themselves outside the institute and how that experience has shaped up. So Gong is much more, and the present students that you're seeing it here, they have taken it to a very different level. Thank you so much. I enjoyed a lot today.